Hiring the right contractors to work on your home can make all the difference in the world. Having companies that show up on time, perform quality work, and return when service is needed are key to reducing stress on owner builders. But how do you go about screening potential companies to make sure you're hiring the best? Here, I'm going to share with you my pro builder tips to finding quality tradespeople. First, it's so crazy important to make sure you get a minimum of 3 bids for any work to be done. Why? Because the only real way to know if you're getting a fair price is to have other pricing to compare to. But shouldn't the prices all be the same since each company is bidding on the same work? Absolutely not. I can't stress this enough. The pricing will come back crazy different. So let's take a look at an example. I recently bid out a conversion of dryer vents for a large apartment complex. Each building was basically the same, and we wanted to replace the old flexible dryer vents that clog with new solid piping. We bid the work out to 3 companies, and all 3 were professional companies with insurance and proper qualifications, meaning they specialized in dryer vent installs and dryer vent cleaning. So you'd think the pricing would come back similar between these 3 companies, right? Not even close. The difference between the highest and lowest bids was over 400%. Now for the open book build project, the foundation bids were $4,000 apart, which is a big difference for a small home. So be sure to get a minimum of 3 bids. It's also important to read through each bid carefully to make sure you're comparing apples to apples. We include in the open book build kit bid sheets for each building activity to tell the people that are submitting pricing how we want their bid submitted. This makes it easier for us to compare them. Otherwise, you get back a 1-page bid with 1 number on it, total. And in this case, we won't know how they came up with that number. So we want to be sure to go through each bid carefully, making sure nothing is forgotten. And if you need clarification, we call the company. Let me give you an example of a company not including everything in their bid. I had an electrician give me a quote for a new house, and he assumed I was providing the bath fans, recess cans, and keyless lights for the basement. This added over $500 to the house and to the electrician's bid. And unfortunately, so this made it so that the bids that we got, we couldn't compare because they weren't apples to apples. The warranty is also a very important part of the hiring process. Most established companies have a detailed written warranty that clearly spells out the duration and any details of what is covered. Check to see how long the labor is covered and what possible criteria might be in place for the coverage. For example, our basement waterproofing contractor warranty covered foundation wall cracks up to 1/16 of an inch. Anything over that, and it wasn't covered. Their warranty also included any basement finishes up to a certain dollar amount. So we want to read and compare each company's warranty carefully to know how they compare. Does the trade need a license in your state? If so, have them give you the license number and check with the state to make sure they're current. We include in the open book build kit a subcontractor information sheet that captures this from the bidding company. So let's talk a little bit about upfront payments to companies you're hiring to do work on your home. You hear all the horror stories daily of folks paying upfront to a construction company as a down payment for materials, and then the company never shows up. I would never recommend paying a company for labor up front for sure. And if there's a need to pay for a lot of material and purchase a lot of material, and you're dealing with a small contractor you don't know, ask to pay the supplier directly. Take, for example, a roofing contractor. If it's a small operator and they need money up front to purchase the shingles, the underlayment, and drip edge, tell them that you'll pay the supplier directly. Have the roofing contractor give the material order to the supplier, and then you can review and pay that through the supplier. That way, if the roofer never shows up, you'll still get your money back. It's also very important to ask for a copy of the certificate of insurance for the company you're hiring. Construction is dangerous work. The last thing you need is a lawsuit because a worker gets hurt on the job and decides to come after you. Make sure they also name you as an additional insured on that policy. So the final builder tip for hiring contractors to work for you is to check references. But don't ask for just 3 references because you know what you're going to get, right? You're going to get the best 3 customers of all time. Instead, ask for the last 3 customers and then be sure to call them. Ask what work was completed and when. And if they tell you it was 4 years ago, this may not be the contractor for you. And remember, we have a complete contracting resource to help you hire the best trades and suppliers at the best price in the Open Book Build Kit.